Beloved chosen. 1. This is no ordinary message. This is a divine declaration. If you're hearing this right now, know without a doubt, it's not by chance. You were led here by God, drawn by His Spirit into this exact moment, because something is about to break through in your life, and it will happen within the next few hours. Yes, hours. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now listen carefully. God said it will happen in a few hours. The prayers you've whispered in the dark, the dreams you refused to let go of, the hopes you held together through tears, God has already moved on them. The delay is over. The struggle is shifting. Destiny is already in motion. This is not a time for doubt. It's a time for deep, active belief. The manifestation, the breakthrough, the transformation, it's already on its way to you. And this time, it will come with power, clarity, and undeniable favor. But hear this clearly. Chosen one, you must be ready. This is a divine appointment, a sacred alignment. The window is open, but it won't stay open forever. Don't hesitate. Don't overthink. Align yourself now. Position your faith. God is moving, and you are on heaven's calendar. Something miraculous is being released just for you. Before we continue, I want to pause and give my heartfelt thanks to every one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your kindness helps spread these prophetic words across the globe to other chosen ones who need them. And whether you've donated or not, I want you to know this. I'm deeply grateful for you. Your presence here is sacred, your spirit is seen, and your breakthrough is celebrated. Now, if this word resonates deep in your soul, if you feel the stirrings of the Spirit as you hear it, type 999 in the comments right now. That number is a prophetic signal. It tells the spiritual realm you're not just listening, you're claiming it. 999 is your confirmation that you are aligned, activated, and ready for the next level. Let it ring out through this space as a signal that another chosen one is stepping into their moment. This is not hype. This is holy. The shift is happening in real time. And you, chosen one, you are the reason it's unfolding. Get ready. Heaven is already moving, and this time it's moving in your direction. God's chosen ones, you'll see it within hours. Be ready now. Chosen one, have you been waiting for a breakthrough that seemed impossible? What if the very thing you've been praying for, sometimes in silence, sometimes in tears, is already on its way to you? What if the season of struggle that has lingered over your life longer than expected is coming to an end not months from now, not weeks from now, but within hours? Could you even imagine that while your heart has grown weary and your faith stretched thin, God has been moving behind the scenes the entire time? You've been holding on to prayers that felt unanswered, carrying the weight of disappointment, waiting in the silence of delay. But now, right now, heaven is speaking, and what it's declaring is simple and yet staggering. Your time has come. The Lord is not slow in keeping His promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, He is patient with you. 2 Peter 3:9. God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't overlooked your pain. He has been shaping something for you in the unseen realms. The alignment has begun, and while it may feel sudden, it is not random. This breakthrough is arriving not out of the blue, but on time, His time. And that timing is precise, holy, and divinely scheduled. This is not just a blessing, it's the fulfillment of a season of sacrifice. Have you noticed the subtle shifting around you lately? The strange quiet before something massive moves? That sense that, although nothing appears to be changing, everything somehow is. That's not your imagination, it's divine preparation. You are being positioned for something so profound that your current mindset might not yet have the capacity to grasp it fully. But why now? Why this moment? Because you, chosen one, have endured. You stayed when others walked away. You believed when others called you delusional. You kept praying when your voice was barely a whisper. You didn't run from the fire. You let it refine you. And now, God is ready to reveal what He has been crafting during those silent, unseen moments. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not delay. Habakkuk 2:3. You've waited, not idly but faithfully, and now you're standing at the edge of divine manifestation. But the question remains, are you ready? Not just hopeful, but truly ready to receive what you've been waiting for? Sometimes our biggest test is not surviving the battle, but having the capacity to receive the blessing that follows it. Can your heart handle joy again? Can your mind accept ease where it once normalized hardship? Can your soul embrace acceleration after living in delay? Think about Thomas Edison. He failed more than 1,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. But he didn't give up. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." It was perseverance, not perfection, that brought his breakthrough. Yours is no different. You've tried, you've cried, you've been broken and rebuilt, and now comes the light. What you're about to witness is not just a door opening, it's the release of everything that's been stored for you while you were growing strong enough to hold it. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Galatians 6:9. You've cried long enough, you've questioned long enough, and you've waited long enough. This is the part where God flips the script. The heavens are not just open, they are active. They are working to deliver the very thing that once felt out of reach. The fulfillment of His promise will not come gradually, it will unfold in the blink of an eye. Why? Because that's how divine timing works. It doesn't follow logic. It doesn't wait for approval. It shows up suddenly, powerfully, and leaves no room for doubt. This blessing isn't ordinary. It's a signature move by God. And when it hits, it will carry a mark so unmistakable that no one will be able to take credit but Him. Have you ever heard of Viola Davis? Before she became an Academy Award-winning actress, she grew up in extreme poverty. At one point, she had to sleep in rat-infested apartments and went to school with dirty clothes because her family couldn't afford more. But through relentless faith and focus, she didn't just break through, she broke cycles. Her rise wasn't about luck. It was about preparation meeting divine timing, just like yours. God is about to fulfill His promise to you. That promise didn't expire. It's not sitting in the past, it's in motion. And the closer you get, the more important it becomes to prepare. This isn't the moment to sit passively, hoping for something to fall in your lap. This is the time to clear your mind of clutter, shake off the residue of doubt, begin aligning your heart with what is already written in the spiritual realm. Because the breakthrough you're about to walk into is not only going to bless you, it will shift the trajectory of everyone connected to you. Call to me, and I will answer you, and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known. Jeremiah 33:3. Take inventory right now. Look at your thoughts. Are they ready for overflow? Is your heart still dragging the weight of previous failures, or is it open to receive something new? Everything you've endured has brought you here. Every heartbreak has cleared space for a miracle. Every disappointment has pruned your life, removing what couldn't walk with you into this next season. Look at someone like Brandon Stanton, the creator of Humans of New York. Before launching the famous photo blog that changed his life and touched millions, he was laid off from his finance job. With no experience and nothing but a camera, he hit the streets of New York. He faced rejection, confusion, even criticism. But within a short window of time, after years of planting seeds, something clicked. What was once a personal project turned into a global movement. That's the beauty of divine pivots. You're not just being blessed, you're being launched. This is more than an answer to prayer, it's a turning point. So don't miss it. Don't sleep through the very hour you've prayed for. Be still, be alert, and be expectant. You may feel ordinary, but you've been chosen, and everything about what's coming proves that your faith wasn't in vain. This moment was always on heaven's calendar, and now the alarm is ringing. You don't need to strive. You don't need to hustle harder. You simply need to stay open, stay present, because your miracle is no longer a far-off dream. It's a scheduled encounter, and it's headed directly to your life. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her. Luke 1:45. Chosen one, can you feel it in the air? That unshakable sense that something greater is approaching. Have you ever paused midway through your day and felt a subtle shift in your spirit, even though everything around you seems unchanged? That quiet nudge isn't wishful thinking. It's heaven calling your attention to what's about to unfold. In these sacred hours leading up to your breakthrough, one truth must anchor your soul. The best is not behind you, it's ahead of you. Not because life says so, but because God said so. Your journey has been long, your nights sleepless, your faith tested, but none of that has been wasted. Every tear was counted, every step has been recorded, every moment of patience has been honored. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. Psalm 31:24. And now, chosen one, you're approaching a moment that has been prepared specifically for you. This isn't just about something coming to you, it's about you stepping into what was always yours. But here's the question: will you recognize the blessing when it comes? Will you be spiritually awake enough to see that what once looked like delay was divine choreography all along? It's easy to believe when the evidence is obvious, but can you believe when things are still quiet? Can you hold the vision when the landscape still looks the same? Can you remain grounded when the wind of change hasn't yet touched your skin, but your spirit feels the tremble of what's near? Right now, it's crucial that you stay in alignment. That means surrounding yourself with voices that remind you who you are, not who you used to be. This is not the hour to entertain fear, discouragement, or defeat. Protect your environment. Watch what you absorb. Focus on the vision God gave you, not the delay that tried to blur it. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Philippians 4:6. Your spirit has been trained in the quiet, and now, in the stillness before the storm of blessing, you must hold your position. Stay ready, not with frantic energy, but with sacred anticipation. Prepare your heart, not just to receive, but to expand, because what God is about to do will exceed every expectation you've ever had. Let me ask you this: what if the reason you've been through so much pain is because you've been chosen for radical elevation? What if your story has been filled with extremes because the shift that's coming is meant to be so visible, so undeniable, that it silences every lie ever spoken over you? Think of Bethany Hamilton, the surfer who lost her arm in a shark attack at just 13 years old. Most people would have surrendered their dream, but not her. Within weeks she was back in the water, and over time her story became one of global inspiration. Her challenge became her platform, her loss became her breakthrough, and now millions are touched by her testimony. That's what happens when the chosen refuse to give up. And you refused to give up, even when it didn't make sense, even when you had no answers, even when everything in you wanted to turn around. That perseverance, it has created the conditions for a miraculous shift. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. Romans 8:18. The transformation ahead of you isn't just circumstantial, it's spiritual. God isn't just changing what's around you, He's changing how you show up in it. The doors that will open in this season will require a stronger, more centered version of you. That's why the preparation was so intense. That's why the process was so long. It wasn't just about testing your endurance, it was about deepening your roots. Your name is on this blessing, not by accident, not by default, but by divine assignment. God has been building something that fits your fingerprints, your spirit, your calling, and no one else can receive it the way you can. This is your appointed moment, not just to rise, but to become everything God always intended you to be. Look at Howard Schultz, the man who built Starbucks into a global empire. He grew up in public housing, the son of a truck driver. He didn't come from power or privilege, but he had vision. And he held on to that vision through rejection after rejection. Over 200 times investors turned him down. But eventually, his moment came. And when it did, it changed his life and reshaped the world of coffee forever. The world may not have expected him, but heaven did. But as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him. 1 Corinthians 2:9. Chosen one, don't confuse delay with denial. Don't mistake God's silence for his absence. While you were wondering when he would show up, he was preparing how he would show off. And when he does, there will be no question that it was his hand that moved on your behalf. But here's the part most overlook. Divine timing doesn't need our convenience. It only needs our availability. You could be walking through the most ordinary moment of your life, and suddenly God breaks in. No warning, no announcement. Just a divine interruption that flips your life from waiting to walking in purpose. It could happen while you're brushing your teeth, while you're scrolling through your phone, while you're folding laundry. Because God's power doesn't bow to our schedules. It invades with precision. That's why you must live every moment with sacred expectation. Don't be distracted. Don't be cynical. Stay open. Tyler Perry once lived in his car. He couldn't afford rent while producing stage plays that kept failing, but he believed, he persisted, and one day the audience came and never stopped coming. Within hours of his final attempt, something shifted, and now he owns studios, tells global stories, and touches lives through a platform he was once too broke to imagine. That's what divine timing looks like. It doesn't need a stage. It needs a vessel. And you, chosen one, are that vessel. God has seen everything you've endured, the anxiety you hid behind your smile, the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the moments you doubted your worth. But he's also seen the strength you didn't know you had, the prayers you whispered through trembling lips, the praise you gave him even when you didn't feel like it. That's what makes this moment so powerful. You didn't earn it with perfection. You received it through faithfulness. And now the waiting is ending. The shift is beginning, and your world is about to look unrecognizable in the most beautiful way. So be alert, be expectant, and most of all, be ready. Your breakthrough is not far away, it is hours away, and once it arrives, your life will never be the same again. Chosen one, how many times did you silently whisper, "I can't do this anymore," but then got up anyway? How often did you sit in the quiet, exhausted from waiting, yet still held on to that final thread of hope? It's easy to feel like giving up when what you've prayed for feels galaxies away. There were moments when you were tempted to surrender, not because you lacked faith, but because your faith was carrying a weight that no one around you could see. The days blended into nights, the silence became louder, and still your soul whispered, "God is coming." And now finally heaven responds, not with a whisper, but with a move so undeniable it will leave you speechless. God never missed a beat. While you were wondering if he'd forgotten your name, he was studying every beat of your heart. He saw your faith when it was fragile, your trust when you had every reason to question, and your hope when circumstances screamed otherwise. He saw you lift your head when it was easier to bow it in defeat. And it is that kind of quiet strength, the strength that few notice but heaven crowns, that has moved the hand of God in your favor. He is now honoring your endurance, your trust, and your sacred patience with a blessing that's not only going to answer your prayers, but exceed the very boundaries of your imagination. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. Hebrews 10:23. As you stand on the edge of this holy breakthrough, understand this: your pain was never pointless. The trials that came like relentless waves were not there to crush you but to refine you. Every disappointment was a redirection. Every closed door was a reroute to something more aligned. The process felt like punishment, but it was preparation for a blessing you couldn't have carried before now. And isn't it strange how what once broke you is now the very reason you're ready to receive? God wasn't just working on the blessing, he was working on you, so that when it arrived, you wouldn't sabotage it, question it, or run from it. You'd rise to it. When others gave up, you stayed the course. When people who didn't understand your vision mocked your belief, you chose to walk by faith, not by sight. You stayed hopeful when hope was invisible. You showed up when you had every excuse to disappear. That decision, to keep showing up even in the dark, is what separates the chosen from the ordinary. It's what makes this moment yours. And after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. 1 Peter 5:10. Look at the story of Walt Whitman, the great American poet. During his lifetime, his work was largely unrecognized. His poetry collection, Leaves of Grass, was self-published and criticized, dismissed by the literary world of his day. He spent years enduring rejection and obscurity, yet he kept writing. He kept believing in what he knew had value. Today, his words are immortal. The same voices that once ignored him now revere him. That's what happens when the world's timing doesn't align with God's, but you keep going anyway. Your moment is here not because you were the loudest, the strongest, or the most visible, but because you were faithful. Faithful when it hurt, faithful when it didn't make sense, faithful when nothing looked like the promise. And now the time has come. Not because circumstances say so, but because heaven has decreed it. What you planted in stillness is about to bloom in full display. You're going to harvest in front of the same people who once questioned if anything would grow from your field. Hope isn't passive, it's a spiritual strategy. It's not a gentle wish, but a warrior's grip on a promise. To hope is to trust when there's no proof, to believe when there's no sign. Hope is what made you get out of bed on days when it would have been easier to lay still. Hope is what kept you praying when the heavens felt silent. Hope is what carried you through confusion, delay, betrayal, and inner war. And now, hope is what's birthing your breakthrough. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. Hebrews 6:19. You could have walked away, but you didn't. You could have settled for less, but you chose alignment over convenience. And now, chosen one, the season is shifting in your favor. This isn't just a new opportunity, it's a divine unveiling. You're not being elevated because you demanded it. You're being elevated because you endured. What's about to enter your life is wrapped in meaning, depth, and a divine fingerprint. Take, for example, Les Brown. Born in poverty and labeled educably mentally retarded, he was adopted at 6 weeks old and faced unimaginable obstacles. But he believed in something bigger. He chose to hope when society told him to quit. He became one of the world's most powerful motivational speakers, not because the odds were in his favor, but because he never stopped believing that his voice had value. Your voice has value too. Your journey, like his, has not been for nothing. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Hebrews 10:36. Now let me ask you, what if your breakthrough isn't just an answer to your need, but an announcement of your arrival? What if the very thing you're about to receive isn't just for you, but also for everyone connected to your destiny? Have you considered that your reward is not only personal, but generational? You've endured too much for this next chapter to be small. You've cried too deeply for your future to remain shallow. You've waited long enough, and now heaven is moving. Not because of luck, not because of strategy, but because you were chosen. Chosen to carry this gift, chosen to walk this road, chosen to be the living evidence that hope does not disappoint. Look at the life of Shania Twain, abandoned by her father, raised in poverty, working to support her family from a young age. She faced immense personal loss, betrayal, and heartbreak. But she rose. She trusted her instincts. She dared to believe that her gift was still relevant, even when her circumstances were not. And now she is celebrated not only for her voice, but for her resilience. You too are not just rising, you are becoming the testimony that your story was leading to all along. So here you are, standing at the doorway of the divine. The breakthrough is no longer a concept. It is imminent, not delayed, not hypothetical, but scheduled, prepared, appointed. You didn't miss it. You didn't fall behind. You were being perfectly timed by the one who sees the end from the beginning. And now, chosen one, the waiting is over. As you, chosen one, stand on the very edge of your divine breakthrough, pause for a moment and consider this. How has hope kept you alive? How many times did hope, faint and fragile, keep you going when logic told you to quit? Hope has never been just an idea for you. It has been your breath, your quiet song in the dark, your invisible armor. Hope is the only reason your spirit didn't collapse under the weight of unanswered prayers and painful delays. And now, that very hope is about to be honored, not symbolically, but tangibly. You're not only entering a new chapter, you are stepping into a whole new atmosphere. The reward for this endurance is not vague. It is not abstract. Your breakthrough will be measurable. It will come in waves, and the first wave is coming with power. A financial abundance that will surprise you with its timing, its method, and its purpose. This isn't about materialism. This is about divine provision unlocking your purpose. It's about God handing you a key that opens rooms you were once locked out of. Are you ready to receive resources you didn't chase, but that were chasing you all along? The blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. Proverbs 10:22. Chosen one, if your financial situation has been stagnant or uncertain, it's not because God abandoned you. It's because He was withholding the temporary so He could prepare the eternal. You've been learning stewardship in the famine so you can walk boldly in the abundance. And now, heaven is opening financial pathways in ways you never predicted. It could be a business idea that finally takes off, an unexpected call that shifts everything, or a connection that turns into provision. You may be tempted to second-guess it when it arrives, but don't. You'll know it's God because it will be undeniable. Think of Chris Gardner, the man behind the memoir The Pursuit of Happiness. Once homeless, sleeping in subway bathrooms with his young son, he didn't know how or when breakthrough would come, but he believed. And then, after months of hardship, one interview changed everything. That one opportunity led to a thriving career in finance and a life of global influence. His story wasn't about luck, it was about being in the right place at the right time, spiritually and mentally aligned with divine timing. That's where you are now. This breakthrough isn't just about money, it's about momentum. It's about having the stability to focus fully on your calling. God knows you've had to fight just to survive. He's seen how lack has limited your movement. That's why this breakthrough will not only relieve pressure, It will restore vision. You won't just pay bills. You'll plant seeds. You'll fund dreams. You'll be able to say yes to what used to feel out of reach. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. This divine wave of abundance is the confirmation that your season has shifted. It's heaven saying, I saw every sacrifice. I counted every coin you gave when you barely had enough. I measured every step of obedience, even when it cost you comfort. Now receive. Have you ever wondered why you felt an unusual restlessness lately? Why ordinary routines feel different, like something is coming but hasn't revealed itself yet? That's not coincidence. That's alignment. As your breakthrough approaches, God will not leave you guessing. He'll begin to send signs, some subtle, some overwhelming, that are designed to prepare your spirit for the magnitude of what's coming. Perhaps you've begun noticing repeating numbers like 111 or 222 appearing everywhere, from license plates to receipts to clocks. Or maybe there's a phrase, a lyric, or a verse that keeps echoing in your environment like it's following you. These aren't just quirks of perception, they are synchronicities, divine signals that you are walking in alignment with the spiritual timeline God set for your life. Call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Jeremiah 33:3. These signs are not random. They are heaven's confirmation that you are not late, you are not lost, and you have not missed your moment. If you've noticed these patterns increasing, don't dismiss them. God speaks in ways that the heart can feel before the mind understands. These divine nudges are preparing you. They are heaven's countdown. Consider the journey of Sarah Jakes Roberts. After facing public failure and early motherhood at a young age, she endured criticism, spiritual confusion, and personal darkness. But as she began to heal, she started seeing patterns, people, phrases, moments of alignment. They were signs that something bigger was being born in her spirit. And indeed, she rose to become a global voice for healing and purpose. Her life is a testament to how God's guidance doesn't always look like thunder. It often looks like gentle repetition. Are there words that keep appearing in your dreams or your daily conversations? Have you overheard strangers speaking exactly what you've been praying about in silence? Are certain Bible verses chasing you across platforms, books, or sermons? That's not the algorithm. That's the Almighty. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Psalm 37:23. These signs will only intensify as you draw closer to the tipping point. At the moment of your breakthrough, things that once confused you will suddenly make sense. The patterns will click. The pieces will fall into place. The resistance will break. The fog will lift. And you'll realize this was never random. It was sacred design, and it was always leading here. Look at Nick Vujicic, born without limbs and bullied relentlessly as a child. He had every reason to believe that his life would be one of limitation, but something in him refused to accept that as final. Over time, through what seemed like small synchronicities and divine nudges, doors opened. Today, he travels the world, speaking to millions, living a life that seemed impossible on paper. His breakthrough didn't come all at once, but the signs always pointed him forward. Chosen one, this is your now. Not next week, not someday. Now, the breakthrough that will shift your financial life, your spiritual path, and your emotional strength is in motion. Watch for the signs. Listen for the whispers. Be aware of the seemingly ordinary moments that carry extraordinary meaning. Heaven is guiding you, and the divine fingerprints are all around. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to chase. All you must do is remain available, aware, and aligned. God's plan is unfolding with precision, and when it touches your life, it will not look like striving. It will look like grace arriving on schedule. When the breakthrough comes, remember, this isn't just about provision, It's about positioning. This is God placing you exactly where you need to be to impact lives, transform environments, and build legacies. You were chosen not just to survive, but to carry favor with purpose. So breathe, stay watchful, and be ready. Heaven's strategy is moving. The signs are speaking, and your breakthrough, your undeniable, life-changing, spirit-confirming breakthrough is moments away. There is something sacred about the evening. A stillness settles across the world, and for the first time all day, the noise begins to fade. Chosen one, it is in this space of quiet and solitude that the second stage of your breakthrough will be revealed. This isn't merely a continuation of your blessing, it's a deepening of it. In this tranquil hour, when your soul is calm and your spirit still, you will encounter what many never realize they have access to: the full manifestation of divine healing and co-creation with God Himself. Have you ever felt as though the world kept demanding your energy, pulling your attention in countless directions, yet your spirit longed for peace? That longing wasn't weakness, it was divine alignment calling you home. Because now, in the hush of this evening, God is opening a window, a portal, a thin place where heaven meets earth. And in that space, chosen one, you are being granted the power to shape your reality. This is not a metaphor. This is not motivational fluff. This is a spiritual activation. Whether it is physical healing your body has cried for, emotional restoration your heart has silently begged for, or the manifestation of long-held dreams buried beneath years of waiting, this is the moment heaven has scheduled for release. Your breakthrough will take the form of alignment, where the dreams that once felt distant begin moving toward you with divine speed. For I will restore health to you, and your wounds I will heal, declares the Lord. Jeremiah 30:17. What if tonight your heart began to feel whole again? What if you woke up tomorrow with a mind clearer than it's been in years? What if this moment was the shift that healed your anxiety, restored your creativity, and brought clarity to the questions that haunted you? Do you believe it's possible? Can you dare to imagine that this sacred space wasn't meant to just soothe you, but to transform you? Look at Louise Hay, a woman who in her early years suffered abuse, cancer, and overwhelming pain. Yet in her 50s, through affirmations, spiritual practice, and faith in divine healing, she created a life of empowerment and healing not only for herself, but for millions. She didn't escape her reality, she reshaped it. In the quiet, she heard God. In the stillness, she healed. And now, her legacy is a living example of what divine alignment can do. This evening breakthrough is not passive. You are not a spectator. You are a participant in God's sacred invitation. This is your chance not just to receive healing, but to create wholeness, not just to wait for a miracle, but to co-create one with the power He has placed inside you. It's a holy window where the natural bends before the spiritual, where reality shifts to meet the intentions of a purified heart. Now, to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3:20. In this moment, God is not just giving you peace. He's giving you permission to be whole, to rise, to dream without fear, to declare what you need, and to believe that heaven hears you instantly. He's handing you the pen, chosen one, and inviting you to write the next chapter with divine ink. This isn't just about healing your body or mind. It's about manifesting the entire life you were always meant to live. This evening, a spiritual portal opens over you, not just to visit your dreams, but to root them into the fabric of your reality. Whether it's a long-awaited relationship, clarity in your purpose, a new career direction, or the return of joy, you are being invited to step fully into the person God created you to be. Take, for instance, Marianne Williamson, who once lived in the chaos of addiction, self-doubt, and spiritual confusion. through stillness, surrender, and an active choice to align her life with divine truth. She rose to become a powerful teacher of spiritual principles, impacting people across the world. Her turnaround didn't come from hustle. It came from accessing the sacred within. You too have that within you. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37:4. So as this moment approaches, ask yourself, what have I been secretly longing for that I stopped believing was possible? What desire did I bury because the wait felt too long? What if tonight that very desire is ready to resurrect? In this sacred pause, this stillness of evening, you must let go of fear. Let go of the idea that you're not ready or not worthy. This moment isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present. Let faith speak louder than doubt. Let the whisper of God be louder than the noise of your past. This transformation is not incremental. It's exponential. You will not just feel better, you will be different. When God opens this portal over your life, you will know. It will feel like peace wrapped in power, like breath infused with fire, like standing at the edge of what once felt impossible and realizing it's now within reach. Look at Trevor Noah, born into apartheid South Africa, the child of a relationship deemed illegal by law. He was raised in secrecy, exclusion, and systemic injustice. But with divine timing and unshakable vision, he manifested a future where he would one day lead one of the most influential platforms in global comedy and commentary. What the world said was impossible, God used as a platform for glory. You will also decree a thing, and it will be established for you, and light will shine on your ways. Job 22:28. This evening is not random. It is sacred. It is strategic. God has been preparing your heart to receive not just comfort, but creative power. What you speak in this space will echo through your future. What you visualize will begin taking shape in the physical. What you affirm will begin drawing itself toward you. That is the weight and wonder of this moment. So, chosen one, do not hold back. Do not shrink beneath the power being placed in your hands. This isn't the time to question whether you're ready. This is the time to receive, believe, and boldly act. Speak life. Speak healing. Speak wealth. Speak joy. This portal is God's way of saying, you have waited long enough. Now let's build. This is the culmination of everything you've endured, every tear, every delay, every whisper of faith. It's all led to this moment, and from here, your reality will never be the same. Not because of chance, but because of divine design. The power to shape your reality is no longer a distant idea. It is active within you, authorized by God, confirmed by the signs, and now awakened in this precise hour. So trust the timing, trust the process, trust yourself. The transformation begins now. At exactly 2 a.m., when the world slips into its deepest stillness and everything around you falls quiet, the third phase of your breakthrough will unfold. This hour is not like the others. It is sacred. It is where the veil between the seen and unseen grows thin, and heaven begins to whisper directly to your soul. For you, chosen one, this moment marks not just a shift in circumstances, but a spiritual portal through which divine wisdom, revelation, and emotional freedom are released. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with a feeling you couldn't explain, an inner stirring that something greater was calling you? That is not a coincidence. It is God drawing you into the quiet where the distractions fade and the eternal becomes clear. In this holy hour, you may experience spiritual travel, lucid dreams, or even sensations that feel beyond the body, because they are. Your spirit is being invited to move through realms that were once hidden, to access knowledge that shifts the very direction of your life. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. Daniel 2:22. This is not fantasy. This is not imagination. This is the moment of spiritual elevation that only the chosen experience. While others sleep through the night, God is waking you, not to trouble you, but to transform you. In these early hours, you are not merely dreaming, you are ascending. You are being brought into divine classrooms where God teaches your soul, imparts wisdom, and hands you blueprints that will guide your journey. You may see glimpses of higher dimensions. You may hear voices not of this world, or feel yourself being pulled beyond the limits of your body. These are not hallucinations. They are encounters. And they are happening because heaven trusts you with what others cannot carry. Remember Carl Jung, one of the fathers of analytical psychology. He often described dream states and altered consciousness as places where humanity could encounter collective truths and even divine archetypes. Much of what he wrote was inspired by his own spiritual dreams and inner journeys. What changed his world, and later the world of science and soul-searching, began in moments of stillness and mystery, just like what's opening for you now. As your spirit moves through this dimension, you will begin to understand truths that were previously blocked from your view. Things about your life, your calling, and your future will suddenly appear clear. Questions that haunted you for years will begin to dissolve under the light of divine clarity. This moment is not about dreaming. It's about waking up in the spirit. You are being given the eyes to see beyond what's visible, and the ears to hear what others miss. Call to me, and I will answer you, and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known. Jeremiah 33:3. But at the heart of this breakthrough is more than revelation. It is emotional liberation. You're about to break free, not only from confusion and uncertainty, but from the heavy spiritual chains you've carried for far too long. Guilt, fear, shame, doubt. These things have sat quietly in the corners of your soul, convincing you that you were still stuck. But in this moment, those walls begin to crumble. What happens when you no longer carry the weight of what tried to destroy you? What if for the first time in your life you were truly free, not just from external struggles, but from the inner blocks that held you back? That's what emotional freedom really is, the soul untethered. And that's what God is giving you tonight. Think of Edith Eva Eger, a Holocaust survivor who endured unspeakable trauma. For decades she lived in pain and silence, but when she chose healing, she not only found freedom, she helped thousands of others do the same. She said, "Your pain is not your punishment, it is your teacher." In the same way, chosen one, your wounds are not marks of shame. They are gateways into revelation. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. As you move through this divine encounter, allow the spiritual weight to lift. Let go of the labels the world gave you. Let go of the fears that held your dreams hostage. Let go of the old stories you told yourself about what was possible. Because in this very moment, God is writing a new story, one that begins with freedom and ends with legacy. And then, as the night deepens, something even more powerful will occur. You may begin to dream lucidly, but these will not be ordinary dreams. These will be spiritual journeys across time. In these dreams, you will see your future, not as a concept, but as a reality taking shape. You will encounter possible versions of yourself. You will see the outcomes of paths you've been afraid to take. You'll be shown the people you're meant to align with, the doors you must walk through, and the decisions that carry the most divine weight. This is not guesswork. This is divine navigation, a compass being placed in your hands. And when you wake, you will know what to do. Not with confusion, but with certainty rooted in heaven's wisdom. Remember Harriet Tubman, the abolitionist who freed hundreds through the Underground Railroad. She often spoke of dreams and visions that led her. In the darkest times, she received divine guidance that kept her path lit and her purpose clear. What she did was not natural, it was spiritual, and like her, you too are being guided through invisible realms into a future of liberation. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. This moment is not just about you being blessed, it's about you being awakened. Awakened to your power, awakened to your anointing, awakened to the truth that you are never ordinary. You are always multidimensional, always chosen, always designed for things most people cannot see. So when you wake from this experience, this out-of-body glimpse into eternity, don't shake it off like it was nothing. Don't rush back into your routine as if your life wasn't just expanded. Take a breath, reflect, write it down, let the revelation take root. Because from this moment forward, you are forever changed. You have been entrusted with sacred knowledge, with divine perspective, with a glimpse into God's mind concerning your life. Do not doubt it. Do not second-guess what was shown to you. God doesn't speak just to entertain. He speaks to equip. So now, as you stand at the edge of this breakthrough, remember this. You are not waiting for something to happen anymore. It's already happening. All that remains is your surrender. Let go of the doubt, release the fear. The chains that once held you don't fit you anymore. This is the hour when you rise, not just in the natural, but in the spirit. Chosen one, you are walking in mystery. You are moving through realms. You are stepping into a version of yourself that was written in heaven before time began. The transformation is complete. Chosen one, has it ever occurred to you that everything, yes, every tear, every unanswered prayer, every closed door, was actually a divine thread in God's larger design? What if the waiting was never about denial, but about precise timing? Right now, in this very hour, something sacred is happening. God is pulling back the curtain to reveal what He has been preparing behind the scenes for years. And it's not just beautiful, it's yours. You may have wondered why you had to suffer in silence while others seemed to move forward effortlessly. You may have questioned your own worth, your choices, and even your calling, but heaven has heard every whisper of your heart, and not a single moment of that journey has been wasted. What you've walked through was not a detour. It was a setup for a supernatural elevation. And now, chosen one, you are being called to step into the blessings God has been storing for you. And after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will Himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. 1 Peter 5:10. This is the moment where fear must be silenced. The doubt that lingered in the back of your mind, it has no authority here. This is not the time to hesitate, it's the time to receive, because God's timing is not delayed. It is perfect, and His plan for you, flawless. Right now, even as you read these words, the alignment is already in motion. The shift isn't about to happen, it's already happening. The change has already begun to take root. Think about Morgan Harper Nichols, the poet and artist whose work now reaches millions. For years she wrote and created in obscurity. There were no book deals, no interviews, just faith. Faith that if she kept obeying the inner whisper, eventually something would break open. And it did. Not because she chased opportunity, but because heaven chased her obedience. God is not waiting to bless you when the circumstances are convenient. He's blessing you now, in the middle of the mess, because you've proven yourself faithful. You didn't just wait, you waited well. You kept praying through the confusion. You kept serving through the exhaustion. You kept praising through the pain. And now, the blessing is not just on the way, it's at the door. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30, verse 5. You see, this isn't just a motivational moment. This is a prophetic shift. Watch what happens next. Watch how the very situations that looked hopeless begin to shift. Doors you forgot even existed will begin to open. People you never expected will come into your life. provision will come from unexpected places. This is the season where faith becomes sight. That sensation you feel in your chest right now, that's not just emotion. That's the Spirit of God confirming what's already been released in the heavens. Don't suppress it. Let it rise. Open your heart, raise your hands, receive what's already yours. So do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. Hebrews 10:35. The same God who walked with Moses through the wilderness, who stood beside Daniel in the lion's den, who lifted Esther into royalty, is walking into your life right now to do something miraculous. And he doesn't need ideal conditions. He doesn't need the odds to be in your favor. All he needs is your yes. When you say yes to his plan, yes to his timeline, yes to his method, you unlock a flow of favor that overrides every obstacle. You are not a spectator in this miracle. You are the conduit. Your faith is not passive. It is the force that activates the supernatural. Consider the woman with the issue of blood. No one invited her. No one expected her. But she believed. And in one moment of courageous faith, she pulled healing from the divine. Not by waiting to be noticed, but by reaching anyway. That is what you are being called to do in this moment. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for confirmation. You've already been chosen. Your faith has healed you, Jesus said. Luke 8:48. And don't expect this miracle to arrive in predictable ways. God is the master of divine surprises. He may bless you through a phone call you weren't expecting, a refund you forgot was coming, or an opportunity that appears in a place you almost walked past. Just like the ravens fed Elijah, just like the widow's oil never ran out, your provision is coming, and it may not look like what you imagined. Sometimes God delays the source so you don't worship the method. He wants your trust, not in the job, not in the numbers, but in Him alone. And when the breakthrough finally comes, it will be marked with divine fingerprints. You'll know it could have only been Him. Look at Tabitha Brown, who for years cooked and created content with very little recognition. Until one day, one video, one moment, God elevated her into a platform that changed everything. She didn't force it. She flowed. And her surrender became the wave that carried her into influence and abundance. Right now, God is asking the same of you. Stop fighting the wave. Flow with it. Let go of your timelines, your expectations, your need to understand every detail. This is the season where clarity will come in motion. You'll understand as you go. Doors will open as you move, and peace will meet you in places you once feared. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. So breathe, chosen one. The shift is here. The atmosphere is alive. Heaven is already at work. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to lean in, to trust harder, to believe bigger. What looks small right now is pregnant with greatness. That unexpected email, that nudging in your spirit, that change in your energy, they are all signs that your life is about to explode with divine favor. You are not just being blessed, you are being positioned to lead, to influence, to build, to restore. The anointing on your life isn't just for survival, it's for impact. And so, I say this to you with spiritual certainty, the breakthrough has already begun. This is not about waiting, it's about receiving, right here, right now. My beloved souls, as this sacred message comes to its close, I want you to remember this. You did not arrive here by accident. You were guided, drawn in by the Spirit, and held in place by divine timing. If you feel your spirit stirred, your hope rekindled, and your inner knowing reawakened, it's because you've just passed through a spiritual portal, one that only opens for those God has handpicked for such a time as this. There is something unspeakably powerful about the stillness of the evening. In these hushed hours, while the world sleeps and the noise fades into the background, heaven leans closer, the veil thins. You become more than a listener, you become a creator. Your voice, your thoughts, your faith, they echo louder in the spirit. This is your time, chosen one. What you declare tonight will shape your tomorrow. So don't whisper your dreams, speak them boldly. Don't tiptoe around your healing. Claim it fully. Don't question your worthiness. Own it as your inheritance. Tonight, restoration is not just possible, it's promised. The broken places in your heart, the unanswered cries in your prayers, the silent fatigue behind your strength. God sees it all, and He's not just offering comfort. He's offering a complete restart, a cleansing, a rebirth. That weariness in your bones, He's lifting it. That emotional heaviness, He's dissolving it. That spiritual drought, He's saturating it with fresh rain. And He's doing it not because you begged, but because you're His. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. I'm about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it? Isaiah 43:19. You crown the year with your bounty, and your carts overflow with abundance. Psalm 65:11. Now may the Lord of peace Himself give you peace at all times and in every way. 2 Thessalonians 3:16. So tonight, when the world goes quiet and the stars blink over your rooftop, lean in, not with anxiety, but with expectation. Don't let this window pass you by. Use it. Write the vision. Speak the dream. Manifest boldly. And then rest. Not because you've given up, but because you've handed it to God. Because now you know He's already working. To every soul who has journeyed through this word with me, thank you. Your presence, your attention, your energy, it matters deeply. And if this message has stirred something sacred inside you, and you feel led to support this divine work, I humbly invite you to consider donating through Super Thanks. Whether it's large or small, it helps spread these prophetic messages to more of God's chosen around the world. But please know this from the depths of my heart. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful that you're here. Your presence alone is a gift, and it means more than you know. As we close, I release a blessing over you now, a blessing of peace that surpasses understanding, of restoration that leaves no scar behind, and of divine ideas that will shape your future. May your sleep tonight be filled with supernatural revelation. May your dreams carry strategy, and may your spirit wake up tomorrow knowing the breakthrough isn't coming, it has already begun. God bless you abundantly and exceedingly, in alignment, in wholeness, and in divine timing. You are seen, you are chosen, and you are ready.